नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाद दायिने हिरण्याकशिपूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्का नखालाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बाहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नखामद्भुत शृङ्गाम् दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Welcome dear devotees to our Friday morning Bhagavad Gita class. So joining us on Zoom are Sashi Shekhar Prabhu and Victoria Mataji, Ishwari Radha Mataji and Suyash Prabhu, Khyati Mataji and Neeral Prabhu, and on Facebook we have Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, Neha Mataji and Vidyavati Devi Dasi. So today is going to be a short class, so let's get started without much ado. Suyash Prabhu, can you give us the Vigyapti Panchika?
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Neeraj Prabhu is not going to join us today. He worked late at night, so he's still sleeping.
Okay, yeah, let him rest. All right, we are meeting again today in the evening at 4 p.m. for Srimad Bhagavatam class. Okay, so here we are, the Vigyapti Panchika prayers. Om Ajnanatimharandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Matsamo nasti papatma naparadhi cha kaschana parihare pi lajjame kim bhuve purushottama yuvati nam yatha yuni yunam cha yuhtav yatha manobhi ramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvayi bhumau skalita padanam bhumirevavalambanam त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वमेवा शरणं प्रभु गोविन्दा वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थये त्वामहं सदा त्वदीयम् इति जानातु गोविन्दो मां त्वया सह राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निज पादाब्जा दास्यं मायं प्रदीयताम्. Om Tat Sat. Okay, so let's go for the translations after Suyash Prabhu gives us the reading order.
Mataji, reading order is Divyangi Mataji, Ishwari Radhika Mataji, Shisheka Prabhu, Victoria Mataji, Khyati Mataji, Suyash, Manasi, Priti Radhika Mataji, Shraddha Mataji.
All righty. Thank you so much. So Divyangi Mataji, can you give us the translation, please?
Yes. O Purushottama, no sinner or offender is as bad as I am. How can I describe my shame? Just as the minds of young ladies take pleasure in a young man, and the minds of young men take pleasure in a young woman, kindly let my mind take pleasure in you alone.
Just as the ground is the only support for those whose feet have slipped, you alone are the only shelter for those who have offended you.
O Srimati Radharani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me one of your assistants. Shashishikar went to bathroom, so whoever's next.
Okay, so we will now stop sharing and share reflections on this. Any one word that came to your mind and struck your mind. And if you're watching us on Facebook, then you can also paste your reflections. There might be a little delay in the reflections reaching me, but nonetheless, please do share it there.
We didn't read one last translation, Mataji.
Oh, we didn't read. Sorry,
Can you
Yeah,
read?
I was about to read.
Oh, sorry, Khyati, for mauling it for you.
No problem, no problem.
I'm
O
doing it
Srimati
consistently, isn't it?
Radharani, O Srimati Radharani, O Queen of Vrindavana, you are the river flowing with nectar of mercy. Please be kind to me and give me a little service at your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, Varshana Mataji. What's your reflection?
Karunamrit Vahini.
Karunamrita Vahini. All right, that's taken, folks.
Tvameva Sharanam Prabhu.
Tvameva Sharanam Prabhu.
Govinde Vallabhe Radhe.
Govinde Vallabhe Radhe.
Matsamo nasti papatma.
Matsamo Natipa. That's utter humility.
You're the only shelter.
You are the only shelter. Matsamo Nasti Papatma, and you are the only shelter. That's a good combination, right? At least we have relief somewhere down the line. Good. Okay, so here we go. Oh, Aarti Mataji has also joined us, I see. So if you want to read the reading order again, Suyash Prabhu, while I bring up the
Divyangi Mataji, Ishwari Radhika Mataji, Shashishekar Prabhu, Victoria Mataji, Khyati Mataji, Suyash, Manasi, Priti Radhika Mataji, and then Aarti Mataji, Varshana Mataji, and Shraddha Mataji.
Okay, so after I go after Varshana. I hope I don't jump in and do all this kind of thing. Okay. And so from Facebook, we got Manome Ramatam Twai from Vidyavadu Devidasi. Thank you so much for that. And Bhageshri Mataji has also joined, and she offers her obeisances to all of us. So I don't know what happened to my screen over here. Okay, I found it at last again. I'm trying to share, and it's not allowing me. Okay, now you can see the whole mess here. Okay, can you see my screen here? All right, and whose turn is it to read? From chapter 1, Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. Who goes next? I think Khyati did it, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Great.
Yes. Mataji, I'm not able to see anything. On the
We can't see Mataji.
You can't see anything? All right.
We are seeing the downloads, basically.
Oh, you're seeing the downloads? From where? How come? Okay, let me just stop sharing. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Google Chrome. Now it's happy with me. Is it good?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dhritarashtra said, Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
O my teacher,
Behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Here, in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yudhana, Virata, and Drupada.
There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraj, Purujit, Kunti Bhoj, and Shaibya. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Varshana Mataji?
No, Mataji, I'm after Aarti, Mataji.
Oh, okay. Aarti Mataji.
Hare Krishna. There,
There, text 7, please.
oh, but for your information, O best of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashtvama, Vikrana, and the son of Sombadatta called Bhuri. Can you help me, Mataji?
Yeah, sure. Bhuri Shrava.
Bhurishava, who are always victorious in battle.
Varshana?
Text 9. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by Grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of Pandavas carefully protected by Bhim is limited.
All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhan joy.
After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells.
Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta. And Bhima, the ferocious eater and performer of Herculean task, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Anantavijaya. And Nakul and Sahadev blew the Sugosha Manipushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty. Mataji, can you put it up just a little bit? The mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells.
The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the son of Dhritarashtra. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Krishna these words.
Arjun said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra.
Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharatas, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here.
There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling. My hand is standing on
My
end.
hair.
My hair is standing on end. My bow gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Aarti Mataji?
Sorry, Mataji, I was on mute. Hare Krishna. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, son, grandfathers, maternal uncle, father-in-law, grandson, brother-in-laws, and other relatives are ready to give up their life and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for 3 worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the son of Dhritarashtra? Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of the Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen?
O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Hare Krishna.
When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by the cyclic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell.
Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
Hari Bol. So we finished our morning ritual of reading from one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And I'll go directly into the verse for today, which is Bhagavad Gita 142. And please continue.
Should I read Sanskrit?
Yeah.
Dosher ete kulaganam varnas sankarakarakhe utsadyante jati dharma kula dharmascha sashvatha.
Very nice, very nice. Okay. Sashi Shekhar Prabhu.
Doshe, by such faults, ite, all these, kulagnanam, of the destroyers of the family, sorry, Varna Shankara, of unwanted children, Karake, which are causes. Utsadayante are devastated. Jati Dharmaha, community. Jati Dharmaha, community projects. Kula Dharmaha, family traditions. Cha also. Shashwata, eternal.
By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kind of community project and family welfare activities are devastated.
Community projects for the four orders of human society combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatan Dharma or Varnashrama Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatan Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society brings about chaos in that society, and consequently, people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are called blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos. Chaos.
Hari Bol. Okay, reflection time.
I really like the point that Prabhupada brings over here, that Varnashram and Sanatan Dharma is made ultimately for human salvation. So even though we are in the world, but the whole purpose is for salvation, going back to Godhead.
Yeah.
I like the way Prabhupada boldly calls such leaders are called blind.
Mm.
Don't follow. So,
Blind following the blind.
And then the irresponsible leaders of society brings about chaos in that society, and we are kind of in that society right now.
So aim of the life is Vishnu, and people forget about that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so funny that Bhagyashri Mataji on Facebook also wrote exactly the same thing. So it looks like you two are tuned in. People forget the aim of life is Vishnu. Yeah. Yeah. And as soon as we keep on centering back, coming back to the center, that is what Vishnu is, then it becomes easier to live our lives. And so many, ever so often it'll happen that like, we are in a grahastha ashram, so we are surrounded by family, and even if you're not in grahastha ashram, we're living in a temple, and we'll be surrounded by different types of people, different types of personality. They're all varieties, all moods, and all methods in which people operate. And so sometimes, like, if you're trying to stay in our mode of goodness, we try to stay as much as possible in the mode of goodness, and sometimes for whatever reason somebody else does something. For example, a child comes to you and says, I have failed in mathematics, right? And of course, we'll get angry with that. So from a center, it's kind of like a spike, and you go up there, right? Into the mode of passion, and you will scold the child or whatever you will do, right? So these kind of things will happen. These kind of spikes are going to happen. But the idea is that you should always come back and find your center. So don't get overwhelmed with the fact that you flew off the orbit and went up something higher. The idea is that you have to keep on coming back, and that coming back is the center, is my Vishnu. Always, 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 right? So sometimes, things will get thrown at you. Like for example, this news that the child comes and says that I failed mathematics. So if we are trying to stay centered, we'll just try to say, okay, my center is Vishnu. Okay, now let me see what Vishnu has in store for me because of this news that I'm getting, right? So then your reaction to that news will be very much different. The more you try to stay towards the center, the less your chances will be of spiking out and losing your comfortable position in the center and going off somewhere else, right? But nevertheless, even if you go off somewhere else, try to come back, home, come back to the home position, come back to home, like that, right? Yeah, what else? So today's verses, dosha rete kulagnana varna karakarakay utsadhyante jati dharma kul dharmasta shashvataha. Right? So the translation of Prabhupada is saying that the family tradition, gets destroyed by the evil deeds of those. And in this case, he's saying that we will be the ultimate evildoers because we are the ones who are killing them, right? And so the family tradition. So what is the word that they're using for family tradition? What term is he using?
term.
Jati dharma. Okay, good. Yeah. So jati dharma is the term that was used, right?
Kula dharma is
Kul dharma.
is the family tradition, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Jati dharma is the community.
Yeah, yeah. So so what he's saying is that, you know, whatever your varna, in whatever varna you are, right, you have to follow the rules that are set for that particular, you know, varna and ashram. And so there are certain specific duties and specific responsibilities that are assigned for you to live your life like that, right? So Prabhupada in one of his lectures also says that, you know, jati, sometimes people think jati as nationality. Yeah, I'm Indian jati, I'm American jati, like that. He's saying that it's not that. Jati doesn't mean that. Jati is tied to your varnashram, because jati is something that has to be tied to your mood and your consciousness, right? That is what is governed by the varnashram system, right? So because of us having unwanted progeny, and of course the parents themselves are not in a position to explain things to them because they themselves are not following it, so then we'll get children also who do not follow these kinds of traditions, right? And then they in turn will create more varna sankaras like that, right? So the whole thing is going to become a chaos, right? And so this jati dharma, this concept of a jati dharma, right, or varnashram dharma, this dharma, you know, what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. Like a fire is supposed to burn. It's supposed to burn. So your dharma is kind of like that. So these dharmas are meant for human beings, and that you have to do this, you have to do that. You know, they're not meant for the animals. So we have to remember that these are for the human beings. So when we talk about jati dharma, we talked yesterday about performing shad ceremony, this and that, right? So these are the dharmas that are being talked about at that level. So these are activities in the material platform, and Prabhupada also pointed that out yesterday, that it is fruitive activities. But these fruitive activities will help us move into a spiritual platform. That is what we have to remember. And then Prabhupada uses a very nice term, and he just says that if you can mute yourself, you're getting calls. Prabhupada says that, that people don't follow this dharma or that dharma. The only dharma that we follow is belly dharma. The dharma of how do I put stuff into my stomach, how do I enjoy eatables, and then that just sets up a whole nice chain of, you know, actions and reactions, and so on and so forth, right? So the idea here is that we should you know, well, whatever rituals you have to follow, but we should not forget that there is one dharma which is, you know, forever for us, right? Because jati can change. The one dharma which is forever for us, and that is the Sanatan dharma, right? The Sanatan dharma is there. And so how do we follow Sanatan dharma? Well, this is what you're doing, right? Adho Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Tata Bhajana Kriya. So you go along that whole line. And so when we sit down and when we hear to Krishna Katha, then Shrunvatam Swa Katha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hidya Antasto Hiya Bhadrani, Vidhu Noti Shruhit Satam. So when you listen to Krishna Katha, then it will remove the material desires from your heart. Abhadrani are the material desires, right? And then what happens? Something very nice and beautiful happens after that. And this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I'm going to share that verse with you today so that we can all have a look at it and we can continue our reading. So do we know where we left off? Who was the last one?
I am.
Manasi is going to read? Okay. Okay, so this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, the famous second chapter, and verse number 19.
Do we need Sanskrit?
Yeah.
Tada rajastamo bhava kamo lobha dayaschaki cheta etar anavidham stitam statve prasiddhati.
Right. So this is 19, and in the previous versions, the previous verse was the one that I said, Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna. So you are hearing Krishna Katha, your material desires are going away, and then they are saying, then what happens? This verse is going to tell you what happens next. Okay. So we'll skip the synonyms in the interest of time and then go to the translation.
As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of the nature's modes of passion and ignorance such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart, then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy.
Do you like that?
Love it.
Irrevocable loving service is
Irrevocable, right? Irrevocable. Yeah. Yeah. Can you give me
Hare
an example
Krishna
of
Mataji, I read in 11th canto also the same thing. The prostitute was waiting the whole night that somebody will come and will give her the money, and she gets disappointed, and then her mind totally changes. And I mean, the next verse I was about to read, and then the thing. So she's totally changed, and she comes to. I mean, she has no lust anymore after that. This was in 11th canto, Mataji.
Yeah. But the connection is very different. You see, she came from yoga of frustration, Pingala the prostitute.
Yes, yes.
Right? And here we are not talking about the yoga of frustration. We are talking about a person following the Sanatan Dharma, and he is doing Shunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Right? You see? But then what you're saying also happens. So there are different ways in which you can reach Krishna. And it's better to follow the sweet route, right, than be frustrated and go there. But of course, we don't listen to that. We want to enjoy, and when we are frustrated in our enjoyments, then we turn to Krishna, which is also okay. Krishna is still waiting for us like that. So, but thank you for bringing that verse, Vachana Mukherjee. Okay, so who's next for the purport?
Aarti
Uh, A living being in his normal constitutional position is fully satisfied in spiritual bliss. This state of existence is called a Brahma Bhuta or Atmananda, or the state of self-satisfaction. This self-satisfaction is not like satisfaction of the inactive fool. The inactive fool is in the state of foolish ignorance, whereas the self-satisfied Atmananda is transcendental to the material state of existence. This stage of perfection is attained as soon as one is fixed in irreversible devotional services. Devotional service is not inactive, but the alloyed activity of the soul.
May I read the next paragraph, Mataji?
Sure.
The soul's activity becomes adulterated in contact with matter, and as such, the diseased activities are expressed in the form of lust, desire, hankering, inactivity, foolishness, and sleep. The effect of devotional service becomes manifest by complete elimination of these effects of passion and ignorance. The devotee is fixed at once in the mode of goodness, and he makes further progress to rise to the position of Vasudeva, or the state of unmixed sattva, or sadhu sattva, shuddha sattva. Only in this shuddha sattva state can one always see Krishna face to face by dint of pure affection for the Lord. Hare Krishna.
A devotee is always in the mode of unalloyed goodness, and therefore he harms no one. But the non-devotee, however educated he may be, is always harmful. A devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord. However, they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. A devotee is always qualified with all the good qualities of God. Quantitatively, such qualifications may be different, but qualitatively, both the Lord and his devotee are one and the same, right? And I really like this sentence over here about Prabhupada talks about Brahma Bhuta, and we know from Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na Shochiti na like that. And so, but the interesting thing over here is that that there are only two types of people who are happy in this world, right? Who are those two types of people that Prabhupada points out?
Foolish people are happy, they have ignorance, and then a Brahma Bhuta person.
Right, a Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. There are only two types. All other people are, miserable. And then, like Pingala, they will turn to Krishna somewhere, right? So if you are an adult and you are still happy in this material world, then either you are a Paramhamsa or you have the intellect of a child. You don't know, right? We haven't grown up like that. So any other points that come to your mind here from what we read today?
So, Mataji, the three modes of material nature, the two modes will go away, passion and ignorance, and then you will be situated in mode of goodness. And above mode of goodness is Shuddha Sattva. And once you reach there, you will be Prasiddhati, happy always.
Prasiddhati, yes. Thank you so much, Garima Mataji, for sharing that. Yeah.
And also the mention of the qualities of a devotee, that the devotee is never harmful, he's not foolish, and he's not passionate.
And so these are the qualities that we are seeing in Arjuna?
He's bewildered right now, but yes, he has those qualities.
Does he have qualities of not wanting to harm?
Yes, certainly.
Right? So we see, the qualities of a devotee will shine through wherever they are, in whatever situation they are, the base will come out. Yeah. That is why it is important for us to stay in the mode of goodness. And like I was saying, that if this is your mode of goodness, if life sometimes throws things at you which pushes you to that other mode, keep coming back, keep coming back, because Sattvam Yad Brahma Darshanam. You have to go to the mode of goodness, and from there only you can go to Shuddha Sattva, right? Into the transcendental mode. So you have to rise and go to that mode first. So our attempt should always be to, as far as possible, stay in the mode of goodness. And you can stay in the mode of goodness by very careful of watching what's happening to us, what is being thrown at us, and trying to put a big gap as possible between feeling, thinking, willing, and acting, like that. Okay? So with that said, I'll have to take your leave today because I have another meeting to go to, but please share your reflections. And those of you who are watching us online, we have Vinu Kohli Mataji. She joined us today. Very good. Sandeep Bishnoi Prabhu and Thomas Haribol Prabhu. Danvat Pranams. And Sukanti Gorangi is watching us, Devyangi, your friend. And of course, our Achyuta Radhe Mataji is there. Thank you so much. Danvat Pranams to you. Vanshkalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo patitanam parnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Goprimanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari
So our next class is at 4 o'clock today at Srimad Bhagavatam, and tomorrow we won't have a class. Tomorrow instead we'll have Japa Circle by Vaisheshika Prabhu on ISKCON Silicon Valley's Facebook page and other links which are there. Okay, so
tomorrow we don't have Bhagavatam class, Mataji?
No, your tomorrow is not my tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, I said just now that Bhagavatam class is at 4 o'clock today. Right?
And tomorrow is Bhakti Vriksha.
And tomorrow Bhakti Vriksha. Yes. So tomorrow is good. we have two classes on Friday, 2 classes on Saturday as well. Good. Start having 2 classes on Sunday also. I don't know how we'll do that though.
Mataji, so what is the link for today's evening class for 4 o'clock?
The 4 o'clock Bhagavatam class, same. You'll come to the same Zoom call.
Oh,
same
okay.
Yeah. And timing is there on the website, so you can take it from there.
Okay, great.
All right. Okay, so have a nice day, everybody. Stay grounded. Keep coming back to the center. Center is Vishnu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Om. Dandavat Pranam.